Gotta go. She gotta go, Tasha. I'm tired of it. I've been dealing with this for too long. She gotta go. Now, before anybody got anything to say or try to judge me for what I'm doing, I'm gonna tell y'all what's really going on. I can't do it no more. I done told this woman 7 times to leave my house. Get out, it's over. I don't want to be with her no more. I can't be with you. You don't want to do nothing for yourself. She don't want to better herself.
Is this how we're breaking up in 2023? I'm serious, guys. We're using these devices for some of the most obscene things now. This man is using or making a video addressing the community about a breakup with his girlfriend. He starts it off by saying, before anybody got anything to say, or before they try and judge me. So it tells me that he's making this video to try and get ahead of what people might say. I know it takes a village to raise a child, but it should not take a village to be able to do something like a breakup. This happens in everyday life, family. When we are raised to be adults, we should be able to make these types of decisions on our own. But I get it. It seems that this is how people break up now. They tend to leave the relationship with a bunch of receipts. Those receipts entail why they don't want to be with this person. All of the little nuanced things, the things they argued about, the things they couldn't get straight, the things they couldn't fix, now becomes the things that they say to the community about why they broke up with a person. But the kicker is this, family. If you don't want somebody in your life, you just need to move them out of your life. It does not need to be a community announcement. Do you understand? Now, I get it. You know, we get married, and that's a big, grandiose thing. We do a ceremony for that. And this is not a marriage, okay? A marriage shouldn't end with all of these videos and community announcements. You understand? Relationships are about the people in them. So if you can't work them out, you should just go your separate ways. You understand? But anyway, he's making his complaints known to the community now, right? Now the world, because this video is viral. All right, let's continue.
She wants to sit around and play the victim and act like I'm the problem.
So he says that she's lazy. She don't want to do better. She want to sit around and play the victim and act like he's the problem. Let me say this, man. It won't be difficult to play the victim when she pulls up and sees all of her stuff outside on the curb like this. And then when there's videos that's surfacing or live or going viral, talking about her in this way. You understand? So when you break up with somebody, the last thing you want to do is publicly humiliate them along with the breakup. I do not disagree with the reasons that he's breaking up, okay? But the way he's going about breaking up is not the way to break up. Should he protect himself? Absolutely. Men, I always encourage you guys, if you're going to break up, turn that phone on, okay? Get ahead of it. This is not for you to post a video later, but for you to protect yourself in case anything goes wrong. You understand? You can go into this thing trying to break up with somebody, and it ends up with the cops being called on you, and you're being hauled off to jail for abuse. You understand? Things can escalate quickly, and people will twist things and say you did things you didn't because they're upset. So if you can get this on camera, you can be protected. And you want to do this before the argument starts. So if you know you're going to break up with somebody or have that type of serious conversation, turn your camera on. I don't mean point it directly at them, but have the phone nearby so you can at least hear what you guys are saying. And if the person starts acting out, man, pick that phone up and start recording, because you got to protect yourself. And when it comes to he say, she say, typically what we've seen from the world is that they're going to believe the woman first. So men, protect yourself at all costs. You are the stronger person. So if you're going out of your way to record yourself first, before this argument starts, we can see that you did everything that you could to make sure that, you know, things went right, that you didn't plan to do anything vindictive or malicious. You understand? So men must really take that extra step. Okay, but what he's doing is he's posting this video telling the world that he's breaking up with this girl, and she hasn't even had time to react to the breakup yet. One thing to be broke up with for justifiable reasons, but to be broke up with publicly, even if it's justifiable reasons, is humiliating. You understand? Let's continue.
I'm not the problem. This all the stuff, she got to go. I asked her 7 times. Get yourself together. I even tried to make it work. She living with me. I'm paying all the bills. She got her kids here. I didn't even accept her kids. I don't even got no kids. I didn't even accept her kids.
Now, he says that she's playing the victim role. She likes to pull a victim role. That's actually what he's doing right here. I know he's like, I've had it all. I've had it up to here. I'm fed up. But he's playing the victim role. I work every day. She home. She lazy. Woe is me. Look at what I'm going through. I even took her kids in. As men, this is not the way we approach life, family. Okay? Now, if you knew you wanted a certain type of life, and you know this woman has children, and you see that she doesn't have that type of work ethic to be able to carry her side of the load, and you know she has children, then you know that burden's probably going to come from you. So if you're doing all of that stuff, and then she's not going to help you do all that stuff, you know you're setting yourself up for failure, right? So should you date a woman who has children, if you know you don't have the finances to be able to provide for those children? You should simply say no, right? But now you're like, okay, I got her children. I'm even trying to taking care of her children. So you've put time in with those children, meaning y'all built some type of relationship, right? So what you gonna tell those children? I'm putting y'all out because y'all mama lazy? And I'm telling you now, you still have your justifications, but I'm saying you don't just have that woman now, you have those children now who you've built relationships with. You understand? And also that's their mother that you're talking about publicly online. Let's continue.
And treat them kids like mine. I love them kids, but I can't do this no more, Tasha. You gotta go. She come in all hours of the night, whenever she want to, always trying to play victim, telling everybody it's me crying to her co-workers or family, saying it's me, it's me, it's me.
Well, it's you now crying to the world, apparently. I'm not trying to be hard on the guy, but listen, man, I got to call it like I see it, okay? She's staying out all hours of the night. I can't do this no more, Tasha. Listen, man, you don't have an overhead. This is your life. You don't have to tell somebody or try and reason with somebody why you can no longer continue with them. You simply have your standards, and if they can't meet those standards, you move around them. You understand? It does not need to be this way. I can't do this no more. I'm telling you, I think this is like, typically when they probably break up, it's a lot of begging and pulling and pleading. Don't. I can't do this no more. No. Like, I get it. But when you've explained to somebody what you expect from them or what you won't tolerate, and they're still doing that, then you got to make your moves. And you don't have to do it this way. I keep saying that. All right? Let's continue.
Y'all got to understand, man, I'm fed up. I'm stressing. I just tried to help this girl numerous of times. Try to help her get on her feet. And she just ain't got, it's like she don't want nothing in life. I cannot be with a woman like that. All we do is argue. Argue. She don't want to work. She pick her kids up, drop her kids off to a mama house.
I see all of this as a problem that this gentleman created on his own. All she want to do is argue. Does she get an argument? Are you arguing back with her? Because if you're giving her an argument back, then apparently you want to argue too. And I always say, man, it's always about the doing. Manifestation works by what you focus on expands. What you ignore goes away. So if you are standing there arguing, then the universe believes you want to argue. You know why? Because that's what you're doing. Actions speak way louder than words. So if you're screaming out, I don't want to argue, well, unfortunately, you want to argue because you're arguing. Someone says something that triggers you. You focus on it, right? And you have to go into that thing, right? You want to argue. You want to. And you might be saying, well, I want to straighten things out. I want to make sure that we got everything corrected. Well, you're giving her an argument nonetheless. You understand? Sometimes you got to understand that people know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're saying. And they're only doing these things to get a response out of you. So to protect yourself, your own energy, your own time, your own journey and destination, because a man he can never forget his purpose. To protect that, you don't give anybody energy that you don't want to give. You understand? I don't care what they're saying. I don't care what they're doing. Don't you stand there and argue with somebody who you know is not trying to hear you. Why? You understand? So if all she want to do is argue, don't give her what she wants. Don't argue. All right? Let's continue.
Why she go out and be in the streets all night, and I'm already paying the bills. And the f***ed up part is, I got a homie, his wife got a business. She was gonna hire her on the spot to answer the phones for her business, $20 an hour. I tell this dumb, hey, my homie wife got a business. You know, all you gotta do is answer the phone, $20 an hour. She gonna look at me and tell me what the fuck I look like. I'm like, what do you mean? What the fuck do you look like? $20 an hour, you telling me you can't work for $20 an hour to sit on your ass? That's when I knew I couldn't work no more. That's her kids stuff.
Now look, that's when he knew he couldn't do it no more. But she was hanging out all hours of the night, having the mama keep the kids, coming back at all hours of the night. That should have been when he knew he couldn't do it anymore. But anyway, he tries to go and get her a job, right? And he starts it off by saying, this dumb B. Now, I'm just saying this, yo. This is a breakup video that you're announcing to the community. This woman is going to hear this, and you're going to be calling her all these names. Yeah, you want to argue. Because if you want to break up and you just want this woman to go her own way, but you also want her to deal with this video that ain't going to ever go away, it's going to be up forever, and not some kind of way retaliate, come back and give you more arguments, have more heat for you, whatever the case may be, you're wrong. Like, you know that there's going to be some blowback from this, right? So this is why I say, as a man, you got to be able to make your decisions wise and tactfully, because this is the worst way, because it would bring about a negative reaction from her. Okay, probably the worst case scenario. If you're just trying to end the relationship and now she's like, okay, my person, my access to resources, my access to a roof over my head, or whatever the case may be, is now leaving, all because this man is breaking up with me. And that's a calm breakup. If that'll bring her to trying to destroy, imagine what a video like this will do. You can guarantee she's going to respond back with every negative thing you did and everything that she thinks negative about you, and probably more. You understand? So that's why this is not wise. You know, publicly humiliating somebody, publicly addressing somebody when you can be old enough and mature enough to make those decisions on your own, and nobody else really has to agree with them. I feel like we want people's validation so badly that we can't even do something as simple as a breakup and know why we did it on our own, and not have to make that understandable or acceptable to the rest of the world. You owe them nothing. It's your life. If you don't want to be with that person, don't be with that person. You understand? But let's continue.
I can't do it. Her kids tear my house up. You know what I mean? I love them kids in my dear heart, but I can't do this. Sometimes you get fed up. I'm waking up, I'm going to work every day with attitudes, getting into it with my boss, arguing with my employees, my coworkers. And it's like,
listen, he's right. When you're going back and forth like that with your woman, a lot of times that can bleed into your everyday life, family. You don't get what you're needing from her. Now that energy goes with you to work, and now you have a short temper and you're reacting differently to people at work, and you become an entirely different person in your everyday life. And for that reason is why you got to make these moves. You understand? You have to make these moves. So that's why it's completely understandable that he's fed up. He has to do this. This is for his well-being. It's for his career. It's for everything. Okay. His focus is obviously gone if he's angry all day like this, right? So we understand it. Men understand that. You understand? This is why we don't go home sometimes. That's why we take forever to go home, why we spend all these hours in the bar or out with friends instead of going home. Is because you can't seem to reason or get through to this other person. Everything you say to them, they switch it around, make it like you try to do something to them or say something wrong. And it's just unreal. And yeah, if you don't get what you need from that person, that energy doesn't go. And then when you go to work, you're not the same person, respectfully. Okay. So you got to do what you got to do. We get that. Let's continue.
Just can't do it. God, please forgive me for doing this. I never meant to be this way. Like, you know, I'm a good man at heart, but sometimes you get fed up. I done asked her 7 times to leave, and it's just like, I can't deal with this no more. I just want y'all to see, I got her stuff out here, and if you ever try to come over here and mess up my house or anything like that, man, I already got my police report filed, so they will come find you. Don't come over here on my property. This is my property. Y'all see nothing wrong with the house, no windows busted, nothing's wrong. Let me show you all the side. So she come over here acting crazy. First of all, she's going to jail. Second of all, I just want to show y'all so that don't nobody say nothing like, oh, that was already messed up and you trying to. I can't do it. When you fed up, you fed up. $20 an hour to sit down and answer the phone. You told me what the you look like. Like I can't do this. Your stuff is outside. I apologize, God. Please forgive me for doing this, man. I ask you to release me from any negativity or anything in my.
Now, this man has gave us all these reasons why he can no longer deal with this person, right? But notice he's like, God forgive me. Now, if you know you're breaking up with her because she's because of the right reasons now, why would you need God to forgive you? You think that's a sin? I'm trying to understand this. Why would you need the community to forgive you or understand? I get it. She'll go around and tell everybody different reasons. You want to get ahead of that, but you definitely got ahead of it by making a video with all her stuff on the side of the road and you talking junk about her first. That's a way to get ahead of it, but I'm not sure that's the correct way to handle it. You understand? I could understand you filming the building, making sure that you can see the damage that's done or not done to the building already, so you can show what happens after. I can see all of that. I can see you packing all of her stuff up, but I can't see you putting at the edge of the road and making a video to broadcast it, showing everybody her stuff on the side of the road, telling everybody how terrible she's been in the relationship, calling her out of her name. I do not take away from the things that he went through in the relationship, but that's not the way to end it. You understand? And I see this all the time, and I keep saying this is not healthy, family. When you end the relationship, it's not supposed to be like this. You should have already made your issues known. The person should already know where you are. They should know that the relationship is struggling. And so whenever you sit down and have this conversation with them, they should well know. It shouldn't be like, you never was this, you never was that. You always treated me like this. You never treated me like that. It was blah, 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 blah. Public declaration of how horrible this person is. Receipts, receipts, receipts. Let's go.
And my heart told me to do this. I love them kids. I do not want to put them kids out, but they gotta go. They gotta go. I've done too much for her and those kids. You have to go. I can't deal with it no more. I can't deal with nobody.
That's important what he just said. My heart told me to do this. Emotions told me to do this. This was not a logical move. This was an emotional move. Right now, he's so angry and hurt. She probably didn't come home last night. They probably just had a bad argument. Something just happened. She did something again that he said over and over, don't do again. And he is so angry right now that he took and did all this in the moment. His heart told him to. So he's been an emotional terrorizer right now. You understand? Even if she was a horrible girlfriend, no one deserves to come at home to find all this stuff on the side of the road like this and it being broadcasted to the whole community about how horrible they were, lazy they are, calling them out of their name, talking about how messy their kids are. Everybody who sees her now is going to remember this video. Everybody that knows her is going to remember this video, know about it. She knows they know about it. It's just a humiliating experience. And I don't believe a person deserves that. They deserve to be broke up with. But this right here, public humiliation, it's not something we should be doing, family. It's just not. I keep telling us we got to be able to see through the eyes of God. And that's through understanding all different perspectives, family, and looking through time and seeing how this thing will look 15, 20, 25, 100 years from now. That's seeing through the eyes of God. I have this thing where I call us peepholes. Okay, it's people, but it's a play on words. Peepholes. Meaning we all have our perspective. We're all looking through the keyhole of life, through the peephole of life, and we all have what we see. Now, collectively, we see the totality, but individually, we see the micro, right? And we're all saying what we see, and while what we see is true, it's not what everybody else sees. So if you act only on what you see, then you're not considering everybody else and what they see or what they may be feeling. So seeing through the eyes of God is considering everybody else's perspective, right? So let's think about this. Let's say that girl's your daughter, okay? Everybody has a perspective, okay? So she got here, she's on this planet. We know she has a mother and father, grandparents, brothers and sisters, right? A family. Okay, to them, you just put their daughter, their sister, their cousin, their family member out on the street. Just out on the street. They don't get time to find somewhere to go. They just come home to see all of their stuff on the side of the road, just sitting there like that in trash bags, and some of us just sitting on the ground. You can tell it just got finished raining. I mean, wow, right? You think this is a skit and somebody's already moving and throwing some stuff away and they just say, let's make a quick skit or something. You know what I mean? But of course you're gonna have your reasons. Well, you didn't treat me right. You was out all hours of the night. That's why I did. Of course you got your reasons. But at the end of the day, family, that person's going to be able to say, I came home and found all of my stuff on the street. This person just put me out. My children out. You say you love them children, right? And this is why I say family. When you make an emotional decision, I did it. My heart told me to do this. Your heart? Your heart? No, something happened. And he's putting her stuff out on the street and putting her out because she just did something to infuriate him. But those decisions made and emotion are made in haste, and you're not considering anybody because you're in ego now. Now you're only in your emotions. You have blinders on. You only see what you see and feel. You understand? And so you're not going to make a decision that thinks about consequences, retaliation, how you look in that situation. If you're breaking your own moral codes and values while you're doing this thing, what you're thinking is this person brought this on themselves. I'm mad right now. And normally when we get mad, our morals go out the door. And so you have to ask yourself, do you truly have morals? Do you have morals if they'll just go whenever you're mad? You understand? Morals should be things that we don't even break when we're mad. You understand? Because we recognize that they're wrong. If you say, if I walk up and slap this person, that would be wrong, right? But then all of a sudden, if we say now, if you justify these reasons that now they've done something to you to make you mad, now is it okay to slap that person? Now you might say, yeah, right? They said something out the way to you, talked about your mama, you know, called you out your name. Now would you slap them? Oh, yeah. Okay. Now think about this, family. Do consequences still come? Absolutely, right? And the universe only cares about consequences. It doesn't care about the reasons. You understand? So, yeah, I got justifications why I'm going to put her out, why I'm going to break up with her. But at the same time, what you're actually doing is putting this person out in the street. They don't have anywhere to go. They're going to find out the worst way possible. It's online, and they're publicly humiliated. And now you're thinking, oh, well, I'm doing this because you hurt me. Well, family, in reality, you're hurting them right now in the worst way. You understand? So that's why I say doing this with my heart. That's why I said it's important to recognize what he said there. All right. That's wild, family. Hey, check this out. They're doing boats in my backyard. Watch this.
Wow, that is crazy. Oh, snap. Let me see. Hey, y'all see outside? Huh? Huh? Oh my gosh, you see it? All the boats.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'd seen a couple earlier, and I was like, oh, dang, I barely got it.
Uh-huh.
And then I was talking to Israel about it, and then I looked back, and it was a bunch of them jokers going by.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, they're getting ready for the Olympics. We're going to be seeing a lot of that. I saw some yesterday, too.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's continue.
And those kids, you have to go. I can't deal with it no more. I can't deal with nobody that don't want to do nothing to help better their life. I can't do it, man. And that's just what it is, man. It's like, it don't make no sense. God, please forgive me for this. God, please forgive me. Just forgive me, God. Please.
All right, so that's the end of that video, family. Again, that is not the way to handle a breakup. You sit down as a grown man or as a grown woman and you tell that person how you feel and you say the things you need to say and you separate from there like grown adults. The world does not have to know about why it ended. They don't have to know about every nuance issue, a situation that you guys couldn't handle. They don't need to know about all of that, okay? Your irreconcilable differences does not need to be announced upon a breakup. That's all. Be evolution. Be the change that you want to see. No candle loses its flame from lighting another. And if you were to ever find yourself in the middle of chaos, it is in that chaos that you find yourself. Now listen, family, I could have went all the way in about the things that he was saying about her, but I've never heard her side of it. All I know is he has these gripes. But I'm saying if she was doing every single thing that he was saying she was doing, he should have broke up with her a long time ago, family. A long time ago. I mean, how can you as a woman and a mother, most of all, move your children into another man's place where he doesn't have children, not do the work to maintain the children in the home? You know you're bringing in extra bodies that's going to make extra messes, but you're not going to help out. You're going to dirty the man's house up. He's coming home to a dirty house. He's telling you that he needs you to work. You say you don't want to work. He goes out of his way to get you a job. You throw it back in his face like $20 an hour ain't nothing. Meanwhile, you're willing to let him pay his hard-earned money to foot the bill for you and your children. And then you're hanging out all hours of the night. You're not with your children. You're leaving them with your mother. When they're your children, they're not supposed to be with their mother. This is how a lot of these children are getting touched because they're not with their parents. They're with somebody else who ain't going to watch them the same. And they're handing them off to somebody else who handed them off to somebody else for a few minutes and stuff's happening. And so you're hanging out when you should be with your children. I mean, it's just crazy. Who knows what you're doing when you're out? So the man now doesn't have children, but now he's raising children who If it don't work out, he loses the relationship with those children potentially, or they're weaponized against him potentially. If he has a child with you, he's expected to do everything for those children that he would do for his child when those are not his children. Of course, he'll make sure he gives them the basic necessities, but his own child, his own investment, of course, he wants to pour more into that child because it's his child. So the schooling and everything else that goes along with that, he would have to do that for children that are not his anyway. You understand? So if he's willing to take you in, raise your children, foot the bill for your children, be a mentor, role model, a father to your children, you should not take that for granted. You understand? If you don't have children and you move up in somebody's crib and you're just going to lay around and make messes and not help out or contribute, you need to understand this. He is not your father. You have one of those. That father is the person who will do anything for you and you don't have to do anything in return. If that man is willing to take care of you, do not take that for granted. Please understand that's a special thing and he does not have to do that. So if you start making it a prerequisite that people take care of you, you got to realize that you are entitled because no one owes you that. You understand? It's crazy, y'all, the stuff you have to tell people these days, the things that they don't know, the things that somebody can be doing for them, they'll take it for granted because they think that person should be doing it. Wow. If you truly understood that people don't have to do what they're doing for you, you would value that and you would make sure that they were appreciated for that. And how you appreciate that is not just saying thank you. It's actually contributing. It's getting up off of your behind and showing that person how valuable they are to you by you meeting them where they are. So if they're going to work, you make sure you take care of the house. You understand? If you bring your children into the home, you make sure you respect that man for being a father to children that are not even his. You continuously tell him how great of a man that he is because in fact, he is great, especially if you know that your actual children's father is not being there. And so the person who helped you literally create them is not being there to help you. And that other person is doing better. Please let that person know. Please let them know how grateful you are that they're in your life because these words should look like actions, family. They should look like the doing, not the saying. You understand? Bring your tail home. Be with your partner. Don't tell them they're controlling whenever they give you structure and say they don't like you being out so late. Don't say, well, I still want to party and I still want to do all of this. You sound like a child because you have children. You should be home for them. So when you're out partying at night, who's home protecting your children? No one. Well, their mother, her mother. This is not the way to run a family. We need to grow up, stay out of the clubs, stay out of the nightlife whenever we have children. Giving your children to a babysitter so you can go shake your butt is very childish. I just got to put it out there. You understand? We have to make it so important that raising our children are priority over everything, even work. Yes, you have to work to provide for the children, but your children are your legacy. They are your inheritance. You understand? 100 years from now, your children you'll have grandkids and grandkids and grandkids and great-great-grandkids. When you die, your job goes. All these other things you think are important, they go. Your family is still here, family. Pour into your family. And you do that by setting the example, not by talking. You do it by being. And when you do break up with her, it shouldn't be in this fashion, all right? That right there is actually feminine. Please understand that. That is feminine. That is not masculine. That's not the way a man should handle his business. You understand? Even when you're done wrong, even when you're mistreated. End the relationship and move on. That's it, family. Peace.